Welcome. My name is Casey, and I will be demoing for you the Advanced Scheduler portion of BellVue for the Dukane MCS 350. For this example, I will be using trybellvue.com. Let's start out by logging in as BellVue admin user. Put in our password, click Login. You can see that in the upper right we have the Advanced Scheduler tab. Let's click on that. Here we have some examples preloaded to talk about the Advanced Scheduler. What the Advanced Scheduler is it allows you to set up a calendar of the days when to load certain schedule files in advance. So in essence, at the beginning of a school year, a school can schedule all their schedule changes beforehand without the need of a technician to come out on those days and make the change. You can still manually transfer if you need to, but this will set it up so that you don't have to do that, but you always have the option. We'll cover these examples here in a second. Let's start out by creating just a sample advanced scheduler. We give it a name, a short description. We'll say this is for 2013, and we want to select a default schedule. So for any scheduling days that we don't have, BellVue will load the default schedule. And we'll talk about enabled and validated here in a second. Let's go ahead and click Create. Now if we wanted to go in and add, we could simply click the Edit and start adding run schedules with what schedule to load, when to load it, and when that schedule should be replaced by either another run schedule or the default schedule selected. Let's go back and look at some of the examples. If we edit year 2012, we can see that we've set up a holiday schedule where up until December 21st it will run the traditional schedule. On December 21st at 12 a.m. it will load the holiday schedule, and that run of that schedule will run until January 1st. On January 2nd it will load the traditional schedule, as there is no run detail to run another schedule. And then on the 24th it would load the parent-teacher conference schedule, and at the end of the 25th on the 26th at 12 a.m. it'll load the traditional schedule back. To simply add, let's go ahead and add a run schedule. We select the transfer schedule that we want to use. Let's say this is another parent-teacher conference day, and we want to run it just for one day. So we're going to click the start date and the end date to be the same, and we'll click Apply. You can see that while this said null, now it's the conflict with says none, meaning there is not an error and the schedule is valid. After every change to a advanced scheduler, it is validated or invalidated. So you can always see if it's good or it's not good. Let's go ahead and look at the calendar, where if we look at the 2012 schedule calendar, we can see a nice layout of, on this day we're going to load the holiday schedule. On the 24th and 25th we're going to load the parent-teacher conference, and on the 28th we're going to load the parent-teacher conference schedule. All the other days are going to run the default for that advanced scheduler. Now you can have more than one advanced scheduler created. All you have to do is choose which one to enable. Let's look at the schedule selector for that. By default, they're all disabled. If a advanced scheduler is valid, it'll show up on this list. So let's go ahead and choose the 2012 scheduler. Click Submit. Now BellVue will every night check to make sure that the correct schedule file has been loaded. So if there's another run schedule to load a different schedule file, it'll do that, or it'll return it back to the traditional or the default schedule file. Let's go look at some bad examples. Here we have a bad sked example of what not to do. Let's go ahead and look at that. You can see that we have some conflicts. We have some defined error codes that you can find a paper on support.generalintegration.com for more detail. But let's look at these on a calendar and it'll explain why. Let's look at bad sked, loads it, and we can see that on the 21st there's only one scheduled to be loaded, the holiday, but on the 22nd we have a conflict because in the schedule we've defined it so that two schedule files will be loaded, and we can't have that. We can only load one schedule file, only set up one schedule file to be loaded a day. That doesn't mean you can't go in on the 22nd and transfer one manually, but for the advanced scheduler we only want you to load one schedule a day to have it planned out. And you can see down below on the 27th, 28th we have the same problem. Let's go back and read those error codes one more time. Advanced scheduler, edit our bad schedule. For the first line we see that there's an inside date overlap, and on the next line there's an outside date overlap, meaning that within the 22nd to the 24th is inside the 21st and 25th. That's why it has an inside date overlap. The 21st and 25th fall outside the 22nd and 24th, so that's why it has an outside date overlap. Let's look at the next two lines. On the 28th to the 30th, you can see that the end date of the 30th overlaps the 29th on the next line down, and the 27th overlaps the 28th, and that's why that has a start date overlap, and this line here has an end date overlap. If there's ever a conflict with, the schedule is invalid and it cannot be enabled. So to fix this we would need to either remove the ones that are incorrect, and automatically the schedule is validated and we are given the notification that yes, this schedule is valid. Click Apply Changes. If we go to our schedule selector, we can now load the fixed bad schedule. Let's go back and look at the advanced scheduler. Now let's go ahead and delete this demo for the year 2013 as we don't need it. Click Delete, confirm that, and that advanced scheduler has been removed. Now here we have a summary of all the advanced schedulers that we've created, but we can see that while they are both validated, only the year 2012 advanced scheduler has been enabled. You can only have one scheduler enabled at a time. This is to not confuse the BellVue so it knows what schedule to load correctly for you. If at any time you need to make a change, you can always again go to the scheduler selector, choose which one, and click Submit. The calendar can also be used to help debug any errors that you have, to show you when it might be conflicting with another schedule run. Thank you for watching this demo of the Advanced Scheduler. Please also look over the Advanced Scheduler user guide at support.generalintegration.com for more info, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and to send any suggestions to feedback@generalintegration.com. Thank you.